The first district congressional race continues to become more interesting as the Harris campaign tries to deny the perception that they're running only a negative campaign. Gilchrist campaign manager Tony Caligiuri had some comments to PolitickerMD.com today, and Chris Meekins, the campaign manager for the Harris campaign, he had some interesting perspective on the type of campaign that he personally thought the Harris team was running. Let's take a look.
Chris Meekins stated that, quote, "This is a desperate attack from a candidate that is desperate for votes. The fact is we have been comparing and contrasting the records of Andy and Wayne. The voters will see that Andy is the only true conservative in this race. However, by looking at the December 18th through 19th poll, Andy Harris is actually in third place in the race, a few points behind E.J. Pipkin and almost 6 points behind Congressman Wayne Gilchrist."
Well, the success of the negative campaign that the Harris team is running is pretty evident in its lack of success given its third place showing in that most recent poll. But it's kind of interesting that the Harris team continues to think they're running a positive campaign when you consider the content of their most recent radio ad that's running in the first district. And let's take a listen to that.
Wayne Gilchrist and Edward Pipkin must think that having two liberals run against conservative Andy Harris is better than just one. Wayne Gilchrist is a tax and spend Washington liberal. Edward Pipkin is an Annapolis tax and spend liberal. Together, Gilchrist and Pipkin increase taxes, spending, and debt by billions of dollars. That's the reason Gilchrist and Pipkin are called two tax and spend peas in a giant liberal pot. Liberals Gilchrist and Pipkin are wrong for Maryland taxpayers.
What's becoming pretty apparent right now is that the Harris campaign got into this congressional primary in the first district, and they really weren't ready for prime time. They did not run a campaign that was conducive to making sure the field stayed clear, nor were they really ready to deal with the concept of running a positive campaign. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. What Harris's campaign is doing as far as negative campaigning goes will be perfectly fine and logical in the context of a positive campaign. If Harris was telling the folks of the Eastern Shore in this first district what he was going to do as a congressman, as opposed to what Senator Pipkin or Congressman Gilchrist will do as a congressman, then maybe him as a Meekins dispute that they are not running a positive campaign, or should I say that they are running a positive campaign, maybe that would hold a little bit of water. But when you have attack after attack after attack, particularly that radio ad, if you notice the pretentiousness of calling E.J. Pipkin by his given name instead of E.J. Pipkin, I mean, that just shows a level of contempt for Senator Pipkin that just kind of goes beyond the pale. And frankly, I think it's getting to the point where the Harris campaign is desperate. They're looking for a Hail Mary. They're trying to stay relevant in this race after having over almost a year's worth of campaigning in order to try to become the front runner in this race. And it hasn't worked. They're seemingly resorting to more and more negative tactics. It's going to get a lot uglier between now and the primary.